Welcome back, everybody, to Colorado Springs, specifically the Lions Den at UCCS. I'm your voice for Mountain Lion basketball, George Holden, joined by my incomparable partner, longtime broadcaster and basketball official extraordinaire, Jerry Evans. Jerry, welcome back.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be back here. After last night, I tell you, I had about 3 or 4 heart attacks as far as UCCS was concerned, especially in that men's game, because that finish was incredible. It was unbelievable. I mean, it really came down to the last one to make the bucket. 71-70. What a great game that was. Looking forward to an outstanding contest here tonight against Chadron State. I was watching Chadron in pregame warm-ups, and they got some good size.
Yes.
And so it's going to be a formidable task for UCCS to come up with this win tonight.
I would agree. Last night, Jerry's alluded to last night's win. It was a nail-biter here. Metro State, UCCS, exactly, gets revenge. They win it, and they squeaked out 71-70. They squandered a 17-point lead
at 12 minutes left in the game.
Yep. Yeah. And Metro State hit some big-time threes down the stretch. 4 or 5 guys were knocking the lights out, but UCCS, they're able to hang on. It's about winning, and they got it done. Right now, UCCS on the season 13-9 overall. They're 10-6 in the RMAC. And contrasting, you look at Chadron State. They're 10-12 on the season, 8-8 in the RMAC. If you look at the RMAC standings right now, Jerry, UCCS right in the middle of the pack. They're 10-6. Dixie State and Colorado Mesa, all 3 teams are 10-6. They're only a game behind Black Hills State and New Mexico Highlands. We know this already in the RMAC. If you get the top 4, you get to host. UCCS went on that 10-game win streak. They lose 4. They win 1 last night. They pretty much, to this point, they control their own destiny. Next week, they're home again with another doubleheader. Next Friday night, Colorado State Pueblo here at 7:30, New Mexico Highlands here. Then they're at South Dakota Mines, at Black Hills State, at Colorado Mines March 1st. So right now, if UCCS can get back to that 10-game win streak form, Jerry, they'd be setting themselves in a pretty good spot to be able to host in the playoffs.
And I think that's what their goal is at this particular point. But first and foremost, their goal is to get the win tonight. And that's the way you got to do it. You got to focus. I know it's an old cliche. Just take it one game at a time. That's exactly what you got to do.
Yep. So you look at the coaches for both teams. For Chadron State, Houston Reed, their head coach, and for the Mountain Lions of UCCS, Jeff Culver is the man at the helm. Officials for tonight's game, Riel Banaril, Danielle Duen, and Shane Thurston for the officials for this game. Starting 5 for both teams. For the visitors, Chadron State Eagles, Jeremy Ruffin, Charles Gavin, Colby Jackson, Jason Jackson, and Deontay Champion. What a great name, Deontay Champion.
Hey, I like it.
You're destined for greatness, right? Yeah. For the home team, the Mountain Lions, UCCS, the starting 5, Dalton Walker, Ian McDonald, Elijah Boss Ross, Deron Clark, and Panit Wang. So here we go. Mountain Lions in their gold, black, and white trim. Chadron State in their maroon, navy, and white trim. And we're off and running at the Lions Den in Colorado Springs, NCAA Division II basketball. George Holden and Jerry Evans, glad to bring you the action. Number 2 with the basketball, and that's Jason Jackson. Mountain Lions control their own fate. And a heart-stopping win last night. They'd like to sweep this weekend if possible. Chadron 8-8 in the conference. Nice looking shot there. And
Charles Gavin,
good shot.
He's the one that controlled the tip to get this game underway.
6'8", 250 out of Denver South High School.
Well, there's a big surprise.
Right. The South Rebels, great program, football and basketball.
You bet.
McDonald with a whistle, and
This
Ross
is not good.
Had a knee injury earlier in the season, and he's down.
And he went right down, and he is in agony.
Yep, it's that. He'd injured the left knee, but
it looks like it might be his right knee.
Yep.
Not exactly sure if there was any kind of contact, but I do know one thing. He went right down to the court, and he was really writhing around. It looked like he was in a great amount of pain.
Yep.
And they're helping him up. That could be a really significant loss for UCCS.
Yep.
When you call him Boss Ross, you are absolutely right. He was really a spark plug last night, and let's just hope that the injury isn't all that bad.
Yep. Because right now he's out. Brandon Malone not suited. Isaiah Wilson is going to have to take on the load. Isaiah Shomi Wilson. Again, we call him Shomi because he's from the state of Missouri. It's one of those things where Abby Fikert, she's the point guard for the women's team. She goes down with that hand injury. She's done for the season, and Chelsea Pearson has this weekend stepped up big time to fill those shoes. So hopefully it's not a similar situation. We'll see. Hopefully he's okay.
Well, it looks like he went right to the locker room, so they're going to invest, do some kind of, checking him out as far as figuring out whether or not the injury is too serious for him to come back.
Yep. We hope he's okay. Dalton Deadeye Walker out. Panit Wang from outside, off the rim. Rebound, Dalton Walker right where he needs to be. Back out to Ian McDonald. Kicks it out to Isaiah Wilson. Shot clock resets. Just underway here in Colorado Springs at the Lions Den. Long three by Dalton Walker off the rim. Rebound snatched out of the air by Deontay Champion. Deontay Champion is out of Pearl, Mississippi. So, going to keep our eye on Isaiah Wilson, number 1 for UCCS. He's going to get more minutes, that's for sure, Jerry. Shot up, off. Panit Wang. He is a difference maker for the Mountain Lions. Walker drives, baseline, inside, got it! Dalton Walker forces the issue, FTI, and now he'll go to the line to try to cap off a three-point play.
That was a nice, subtle drive right to the bucket, and he was able to pull back, draw the foul, and bank it in. So that was important, and that's the kind of play that hopefully will get UCCS moving and grooving here to get going in this game. Because I tell you what, one thing you can already see early, the size for Chadron State is going to be a problem.
Yep, I would agree. So here comes Chadron State, the Eagles with the ball, down by 1. Glad you could join us tonight for a doubleheader of basketball. Congratulations again to the women's team with a dominating performance earlier tonight over Chadron State. They sweep this weekend. Driving inside, off, and hits it. Deontay Champion. He looks like he's going to cause problems for UCCS if they don't take care of that early.
Yeah, he took it right to the hole, had no problem.
Deron Clark got some air on that one and just doesn't get the roll. It's free, and coming up with is Colby Jackson out of Las Vegas, Nevada.
And there's the dish back to Jeremy Ruffin. Ruffin with the reverse layup.
So down by 3. Don't let the record for Chadron State fool you. They're a good basketball team. Down the floor, here comes Champion. Looking for the alley-oop. One there, Panit Wang. And Panit Wang is giving up some serious weight going up against the big guy underneath, 24, Charles Gavin. And the charge.
Well, Gavin was trying to make an outside move and just lowered the shoulder and knocked him down. So the official right on it made the right call, a charge, and there you go, back to UCCS.
Well, you look at Gavin, Jerry,
he's a monster.
6'8", 250, and Panit Wang, if you look at,
he's at like 167 pounds.
Yeah, he's giving up a lot of weight.
Yeah,
so
he really is.
He's going to have to find an angle to get some sort of advantage in that matchup. Isaiah Wilson bringing the ball down for UCCS. He'll give it out to Panit Wang. He's best when he's in open space and able to make moves and create plays. Whistle and foul will go against UCCS.
Kind of an identical situation right there.
And Deron Clark.
As Deron Clark, yeah, he was the one that actually initiated the contact. A lot of people look at that and they say, well, wait a minute, he got hit. But if you're the one that initiates the contact with the shoulder or with the body like that, it's going to go by offense, going the other way.
Another point to make too, Jerry, Deron Clark, talented freshman, but he's the freshman. So guys like Ross, oh, that's a good sign for UCCS. He looks like he's tough as a box of rocks, man. He really is. And he comes back. He's going to check in with Wyatt Dolberry out of Texas. So good news for Mountain Lion fans. Elijah Ross says, I'm good.
Well, let's hope so. You don't want to have him go down again.
No.
Because, if you're bringing him back in and he feels like he's good, that's great. But you also are looking at the possibility of risking further injury.
Correct. Number 4 matching up. That's Jeremy Ruffin. The fadeaway. Ruffin in, out. Dolberry there with the rebound. Here comes Panit Wang at the mountain lines. What a run. Out to Ross. Ross thought about it. Oh, what a pass by Ross underneath. And back out. It's going to be stolen. Ross is matching up on Sparks. Pass underneath to the big guy, Gavin, matched up on Dolberry. And that is good. That matchup, Mountain Lions got to find somebody that can match up with Gavin.
It's going to be tough, that's for sure. He's just so big.
6'8", 250 pounds. Walker from outside, in, out, bounces. Snatched out of the air by Jason Jackson. And early on hits the bucket. It's a 10-3 game. Early on, Chadron State's creating their own momentum. Panitwego slow it up a little bit, wait for Ross. Ross looks like he's hobbling a little bit. Dolberry hits.
Yeah, he's done. That's what I was concerned about, because when he went down initially, it just looked like he was really in a lot of agony and pain. And so he came back in trying to gut it out. But, you know, when you're hurt like that, you're being more of a hindrance to your team than you are to out there helping out.
I would agree. We'll see what happens. Hopefully Elijah Ross is okay, but he went back in and looks like he's grimacing a little bit in pain, so we may not see him back. We'll keep you tuned. 15:41, a lot of basketball to play. It's a five-point game right now. Home team down. We'll take a quick break. He's Jerry Evans. I'm George Holden, your voice for Mountain Lion basketball. You're watching and listening to NCAA Division II hoops in Colorado Springs, the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. Stick with us. We'll be back in just a minute. Welcome back to Gallagly Event Center, Colorado Springs. Officials are kind of talking something over, I should say, really quick. Right now, Jerry, UCCS, they come off the big, thrilling win last night over Metro State, 71-70. But tonight, they're playing a team that shows 8-8 in the conference, but they're not playing like they're 8-8.
Well, I kind of wonder at this particular point. I know it's early in the game, but you got to wonder, is their record 8-8 in the conference because maybe they suffered some injuries and at key points or whatnot? But I'll tell you what, they are playing very fast and furious, and it's going to be tough on UCCS. They're going to need to make some changes. And one thing I've already noticed is they're trying to hit that long-range bomb. Not really a good idea. You need to work it inside, but then you got to deal with all the beef, especially with Gavin in there at 6'8", 250. My goodness,
yeah,
what a monster he is.
That's good. He's a force. So they're going to have to find a way around him.
Yeah.
Tonight. So Chadron State brings it down, and they've got a 5-point lead. A lot of basketball to play in this game, but UCCS may have lost Ross again. We'll see. Chadron State regroups, 15 seconds on the shot clock. Mountain Lions don't want to let that ball get fed inside to the big guy because he could cause some damage. Back up top, 4 seconds on the shot clock. In, out, rebound, blend of Dilly. Mountain Lions with a big push down the floor. Outside to Wilson, he's shifty. Drives inside, the little shot, got it!
And he did it over Gavin.
Shobi Wilson right through the middle. And he knows he's going to be filling in for Elijah Ross, and he wants to do him proud. Under 15 minutes to play, first half. Right now, as far as size, like you talked about, you could see it on the floor right now. UCCS is going to want to run and get things up tempo if they can.
Right now, Burks is on Gavin.
Well, the big guy, there it is.
Yep.
Little feed inside and just flick of the wrist and puts it in. Ed Boards Burke is going to take his turn, matching up against him. Deron Clark out of San Antonio, Texas. Back to Dilly. Wilson, we got a foul.
I think it was a push-off on Burke, if I was reading that play correctly.
It's going to go on Clark. Deron Clark gets called for the foul.
Okay, so it must have been a separate, but it looked like Burke actually pushed off Gavin right as he got out of the lane. So I was kind of wondering if that was what the official was going to call, but they got Clark for it.
Yep. And Clark, if you're watching, Jerry, you've known this as many basketball games as you've officiated over the years. He's very emotional. Wears his heart on his sleeve. He's up there talking to the officials. He's got to keep that in check.
That's exactly right. You move right on to the next play.
Yep. So Chadron State with the ball. And Panit Wang will check back in for UCCS. He's out of Aurora, Colorado, Eagle Crest High School. I'm sorry, Overland High School. Long range shot. Put up by Jackson. Colby Jackson, no good. Knocked out of bounds.
Well, they said it's off UCCS, but it looked like two players actually hit the ball before it went out of bounds. That was one of those things that, made the official must have had the best angle on it because it looked like it could have gone either way.
Yep. So the big guy will inbound for the Eagles. Ron Clark out up top, covering Jackson. Back up top to Jason Jackson. Into the game now, number 21, Walker Andrew out of Littleton Colorado Heritage High School for Chadron. Working his way inside. Oh, Burke is there. Boards Burke. That's why we call him. Here comes Dilly up the floor. Deron Clark will set up for three. Got it! Stop, pop, and let it drop from downtown, and Clark hits. And they needed that. That's a big shot. Inside, off the hands. And the official says Chadron State basketball from where we were sitting. It looked like Mountain Line basketball.
Well, Bork hit the ball, but it also looked like it could have possibly been hit out of bounds by Gavin for Chadron State, but the official didn't see that part. He saw Bork hit the ball, so that's what he called.
So Chadron will inbound at their end of the floor. Burke matching up with Gavin in a steal. Deron Clark, up! Oh, and he just puts it off the glass, makes a deposit on the bank, and cashes it in.
That was a smart play because he was kind of fumbling the ball a little bit, and he didn't want to try and go for the stuff and maybe mishandle it.
Gavin working against Burke. Burke doing a good job. Back up top, 13 on the shot clock. It's a tie game right now. Mountain Lions have fought back. Shot is short. Snatched by Panit Wang out of the air. He'll bring it down the floor. He has great ball handling for a guy that big. Knocked away. Stays with the Mountain Lions. Checking in, Isaiah Wilson will check it again. And for Chadron State, number 1, Michael Sparks. And number 34, that'll be Adum Babang. He's 6'7", 215 from Cameroon. And you weren't lying, Jerry. They've got some size on this roster. 6'7", 6'6", 6'8", 6'6", 6'7", 6'7", 6'11". They've got some beef.
I used to be tall at 6'2".
Yeah, times change, right? Bigger, stronger, faster. Wow. So UCCS, they take the lead. They didn't lose their poise and control. And another steal. Burke getting it done underneath.
That was a very, very smart substitution to bring him in and play that low post position. He's done a wonderful job on defense.
Yep. Panit fishes off. Burke got it! There it is! And a timeout, Chadron State.
Right now, your all-star is Bork. I'll tell you, he's played great defense. He was open for that little pass right down in the inside part of the block, laid it up. This man he's single-handedly almost brought UCCS back, and now they've got the lead 16-12 after trailing early on.
Ed Burke, 6'7", 2.25 out of Melbourne, Australia. They've inserted him into the lineup, and he's been a difference maker. 12:01 left in the first half of play. Mountain Lions lead by 4 over Chadron State. He's Jerry Evans. I'm George Holden, your voice for Mountain Lion basketball here in Colorado Springs NCAA Division II hoops. Stick with us. We'll be right back in just a minute. here we go. Welcome back to Gallagher Event Center. In case you're just joining us, UCCS, they were trailing because Chadron State got off to a quick start, but they have kept their poise, fought back, and they now lead by 4. Elijah Ross earlier left. Looked like that knee. We'll keep you posted on what we find out about that. Chadron State, Jackson tries to drive inside. Underneath Walker. Oh, you'll get it. Walker Andrew, 6'6" sophomore out of Littleton, Colorado. Great effort underneath, gets the shot, and he'll go to the line.
Yeah, he was pulling away. He shot that little fadeaway jumper. Got some contact as well and still made the bucket.
So let's see. This is one of the, as far as the RMAC, Jerry, this season, this is one of the bigger teams we've seen.
Well,
size-wise, they really.
I can't speak to that, but I do know one thing: they have some huge size. That's for sure.
And that makes a difference. Hustle versus muscle right now. Titus Reed out to Wilson, gets a snappy pass and gets control again. Panit Wang trying to find something. Walker gets it. Walker's going to drive, kicks it out to McDonald, has it knocked away. Good looking play. They were trying to work it around to get McDonald by himself underneath.
And the Badam Mwang was the one that knocked it out of bounds.
So McDonald has replaced Burke. Panit out to Reed. Reed will put it up for 3. Got it! Titus Reed out of Chatfield High School trades it. Ron Clark will check back in momentarily for the Mountain Lions. Chadron State moving it around. Under 11 minutes to play, first half, 14 seconds on the shot clock. Pull-up jumper, got it. Michael Sparks out of Lincoln High School, transfer from Otero Junior College down in La Junta, Colorado.
Oh, I know that place very well.
Good teams
oh,
down
yeah,
there.
They certainly do. Them and Trinidad State and Lamar, all those schools down in southern Colorado always spark some good action.
Panit Wang. Good ball movement, snappy ball movement. Fade away by Walker, off the rim, snatched out of the air, the rebound by Walker Andrew. And he, number 2, Jason Jackson, he is quick. We'll move it around, closing in on 10 minutes left in the first half. Whistle on the floor. We're going to call the foul. It's going to be called on number 34. I believe. Yep, 34. It's going to be called on Babang for Chadron State. Blend of Dilly, Deron Clark check in, and so does Ed Burke.
I don't know how that could have been called on him if they're going to give the ball to Chadron State.
He said, it was on 34 was fouled. Excuse me. He drew the foul. Babang did, and so Chadron State, correction, they will keep the basketball. I'm glad to have you here, Jerry.
Well, that didn't make a lot of sense.
Underneath to Babang.
They're letting them play, I'll tell you that. They're banging bodies underneath.
And there's going to be a foul on Titus Reed of UCCS, and he's wondering why. Jeff Covers.
He's bending the ear of the official that's right next to him.
Yep. What we talked about last night, Jerry, that every great coach is a great salesman?
Well, he was selling, that's for sure.
He was like, hey, come on.
He was trying to close that sale real quick, too.
Underneath, Babang working against Burke. Off, and Deron Clark comes flying in, grabs the rebound all the way up to Burke. Burke passes it back. Clark.
Yeah, I was wondering, he nailed him with the shoulder.
You hear the boos from UCCS. They don't like the call, the crowd. Jeff Culver is...
What he's yelling about is he's saying, hey, he brought the ball down. He need to get some option for position there before the contact. But the official called it. And, it's one of those calls that it's really tough because as a coach of the team that he gets called on, you're sitting there going, wait a minute, he didn't have any open area.
Right. Champion looking, feeds inside again to the big guy, Burke Gardner. Nice job by Burke. He seems to be the most effective working against the big guy.
I'm thinking Burke may be playing the rest of the game.
Against Gavin. It's a good matchup.
Or Mbang, too.
Blendiv-Dilly working his way. Nice job by Blendiv-Dilly. Usually he's a great shooter from outside, but last night and tonight, Jerry, we've seen him work his way inside.
Well, he's a big, strong young man, you know, so I would certainly, as far as coaching would be concerned, I would continue to let him do that.
Jason Jackson with an answer for Chadron at the other end of the floor. Titus Reed, physical, trying to get through, and he's going to draw a foul.
Well, he got his arm just almost separated from his shoulder. I mean, they came down with a hard whack on that one. So there's the 2 shots.
You could tell early in this game, Jerry, this is going to be a physical, aggressive basketball game. Both these teams are going eyeball to eyeball.
They really are. Now, UCCS does have some good size too, but you know they're dealing with not only the height that Chadron State has, but also the beef.
Yep.
So you don't have to say where's the beef because it's out there.
So Titus Reed hits the first one. Checking in number 1 and 00 for Chadron, Colby Jackson and Michael Sparks, respectively from Denver and Las Vegas, Nevada. Lived in Las Vegas for a little while. It's strange to live in a place where you wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and open up the drapes and everything's lit up. And people are still walking around. It was good to be back here. It's good to be back. Champion with the ball. Mountain Lions lead by 3. Closing in on 8.5 minutes left in the first half. It has been a very aggressive, assertive, physical first half by both teams. Shot attempted, it'll go.
Yeah, that's Jeremy Ruffin. He had the temptation and he was able to go for it. That's a David Ruffin.
David Ruffin. UCCS wins last night by 1. And the closing under a second. Are we going to have a similar night tonight? It's close so far. Chadron State came to play. Shot up. And that's Champion. Deontay Champion. There's going to be a whistle. Dalton Walker and Isaiah Wilson will check in for UCCS. And again, without Elijah Ross in the lineup, Jerry, that's going to change how you sub.
You're absolutely right about that, and you know Wilson is going to see a lot of action. I think
yep.
you know Villy as well because they're going to be required to bring the ball down and set up the plays.
Burke had it. He got a good feed from Wilson, but it gets knocked away. Whistle.
Gavin was called for the 3-second violation right there. He's been camping out a little bit in the lane, and I think it was just a matter of time before the officials were going to get him. A lot of officials, you know, it's tough on them because they don't really want to call that 3-second violation, but you know sometimes you got to set the tone.
Yep, I agree. Timeout on the floor, 7:45 right now. UCCS down by 1. This has been a little bit of a seesaw battle. Both teams so far in this basketball game seem pretty evenly matched. I want to remind you that UCCS is part of an RMAC-wide agreement with Stretch Internet as the designated streaming partner. All games are available for free and can be viewed on desktop, mobile devices, and the RMAC Network app channel through Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, and Amazon Fire TV. UCCS will also make select home games available on social media networks, including Facebook Live, Twitter via Periscope, and or YouTube. I'm George Holden, your voice for Mountain Lion Basketball, joined by the incomparable Jerry Evans. Jerry, when you look at a game, the years you've been a basketball referee / official, all the games that you've done, when you get a game, put yourself that hat on as a referee / official out of the floor here tonight with a physical, very aggressive, up-tempo type of game where teams are just getting at each other. Is there anything that you want to tell these guys around the floor before things may get out of hand? Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, it does. And you know, when you're at this level, though, you're bound to let the players play. And
right.
A lot of times you're going to see contact that you wouldn't see in lower ranking basketball programs in high school or middle school or whatever. But as far as, you know, at the college level, they're going to let them play. They're going to let them bang bodies. And it's a situation where the players know that, and they got to deal with it. So it's just part of the game anymore.
Dolberry short on the 3. Rebound Chadron. The big guy. Boom! Boom! Underneath. Charles Gavin with the dunk. And guy gets momentum and speed going his way. It's kind of hard to stop.
I'm not going to get in his way, I'll tell you that.
Panit Wang thought about it, was going to pull the trigger. Good. He is so quick off the trip. Oh! Panit Wang! He always seems to find a way to come up with a big play when they need it.
And that was one of them.
And that's one of those type plays you don't coach. He's got the gift. 1 point game. Mountain Lions down. Champion up off the glass. And I have a feeling, Jerry, this is going to be, so far it's going to be this way all night. Foul. That's going to go on Wyatt Dolberry.
That was kind of a good sales job there by Sparks as he hit the deck on that one. That was one of those situations they tried to get the spin move done, but Sparks was right there, absorbed the contact, went down to the court, and was able to draw the charge.
Yep. So here comes Chadron. Champion. Inside to 33. That's Jacob Jefferson out of Buckeye, Arizona in the game now. Mountain Lions will inbound.
This has been a game of runs. You had Chadron State with the big run, then UCCS, and now Chadron State back with a big run as well.
Yep, they stole the momentum back. Walker, UCCS needs to, again, poise and control. Walker was going to do it. Good deep. Oh! Underneath. Oh! Dalton Walker. That was a great effort up inside. Caught an elbow there, too, and finishes the shot and gets a chance to capitalize right here.
Practicing a little levitation there because he hung in the air really well.
Yep. Dead-eye Dalton Walker. He's a senior, 6'7", 200 pounds out of Windsor, Colorado.
My family heritage there.
Windsor, and we already talked about that.
Yeah, we talked about that last night.
Whenever I played against some high school coach, they were tough kids.
Yeah, they are.
They're really tough.
Always had a great program.
Windsor, Fort Morgan,
Longmont,
all those, they are.
Yeah.
Solid.
Broomfield.
And then I remember back in the day when you had those old school rivalries. Now there's been so much growth, that kind of changes a little bit.
Yeah, you're right.
So here we go. Oh, off the dribble. Good defense smothering by the Mountain Lions. They need it. 13-second shot clock. Long three. Got it.
Michael Sparks. Wow, what a great shot that was.
At Lincoln High School. They lead. 5:20 and counting left in the first half of play. Isaiah Wilson filling in for Elijah Ross. He knows he's going to get more playing time. Reed way off on the baseline. That was off the mark. He knows it.
Apparently he just wasn't really set on that one because he missed it by a long shot.
And just to let you know, Jalen Little, assistant coach for Chadron State, played at Sierra High School. Was a basketball player down there. Great player. Shot from outside.
That was number...
that was Burke.
33, Jacob Jefferson.
So 35-27. Timeout on the floor. 4:57 left in the first half. Jerry, if you're UCCS right now, knowing that Ross is not in the lineup, you're going to have to change, adapt and adjust on the fly a little bit. What do you do to kind of mitigate the size inside for Chadron State?
Well, that's a hard question to answer, but one of the things, I guess, if I were looking at it, I would say, well, we got to get Panit Wang to kind of get the motion on the offense, but he's also got to be able to draw some contact and draw some players in when he drives to the bucket. So that's one of the things that's going to be tough. But when, like I said, and I've already harped on this a lot, it's all the beef out there for Chadron State. That is what they're having the most difficult time dealing with.
Yep. So press defense coming on for the Eagles. Wilson will bring it up for the Mountain Lions. Calls out the offense to Burke. They're going to need a lot of production out of him. Titus Reed. Deron Clark will check back in just a second. And so will Ian McDonald. Walker steps up for three. Got it! Deadeye. Dalton Walker found his spot. Hits the bullseye. Pulls to within 5.
They're going to need a few more of those if they can get them.
Yep. And they're getting scrappy on defense. Mountain Lions, it's all about heart and fire. The big guy working on Ed Burke, that's Jacob Jefferson.
Yeah.
6'7", 245.
He just willed that ball in. He really did.
So, Mountain Lions, underneath the strip. Walker was waiting to go back up a second time. Good defense by Chadron State, though, to knock it off.
But what a great entry pass by Petit Wang. I mean, he was right on the spot on that one. So Walker was trying to finish the play, but just got the ball knocked out of his hands.
I think in a game like this, when you're matched up against a team like Chadron, Jerry, if you're UCCS, is those quick, snappy passes.
You're right.
In and out, Clark, whistle on the floor.
They had some pushing off on the subsequent rebound there, so now they're conferring on it to make sure they have the right call.
Yep. Push, you're right. Jerry Evans, the basketball official with the eagle eye here, calls it. 3:58 remaining in the first half of play. It's a 7-point game. Mountain Lions find themselves down. We'll take a quick break. I'm George Holden, your voice for Mountain Lion basketball. You're watching and listening to NCAA Division II hoops in Colorado Springs, the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. Stay with us. We'll be back. Get a snack, but come right back. Here we go. Back to action. Jerry, you've got some interesting stats so far in this first half.
We've talked about Charles Gavin a little bit as far as Chadron State is concerned. He's got 8 points, and second on the list is Deontay Champion with 6. As far as the Mountain Lions are concerned, Dalton Walker, he's been hitting those threes. He's got 9 points in this first half so far, and Deron Clark with 5. Of course, who's missing? That's Elijah Ross, because he went down with that early injury.
Yep. And we sound like a broken record, but folks, will say it again. In a game like this for the Mountain Lions, free throws are going to be
crucial.
They're going to be pivotal. You're going to need them. McDonald hit his first, misses the second. Rebound, Chadron State. Mountain Lions, I'm sure, are going to have to find a way to match up inside. The dish underneath. And the finish by Jacob Jefferson.
Jefferson is just playing that low post block there just extremely well and getting open for those shots. And all he's basically doing is just laying it up.
Yep, making life easy. Clark to Petit Wang. They're down by 8. Petit all the way out to Walker. Walker will put up another 3. Oh, in and out. That had a chance. Rebound. Colby Jackson for the Eagles. Again, UCCS 10-6 in the RMAC, 8-8 for Chadron State. Mountain Lions know they can make the postseason, but they would love to host. But they got to do it one night at a time. Petit Wang stops inside, back to Walker. Walker will take another 3. Got it! Dalton Walker! And pulls the trigger and hits his mark.
He has been the man right here in the first half. They need those 3-pointers. They need to stay close here.
He's got to step. Someone had to step up with a key player out of the lineup, and so far it's been Walker. He's had his number called, and he's answered the bell. 5-point game under 2.5 minutes to play, first half. Colorado Springs. All by himself. Oh, the big guy showing some touch from the outside. Jefferson buries a 3. Padit.
The way that he's playing, they're going to name a monument after him.
They're going to call the foul.
Well, Padit Wang was trying to drive down on the right side, and he got his arms, actually his whole wrist locked up down there. So the officials were right on the call right there.
Yep. And so McDonald checks out, Deron Clark checks out, blend of Dillian and Burke. I think
Wilson's in as well, isn't he?
And underneath, I like this with Dilly, Walker, and Burke.
Yes.
That's a good.
You got some beef there too, you know.
Yep. So. And some guys who can rebound, but guys who can shoot when they need to.
You're right.
And having Wang, he's all over the place. He's that factor outside that can make things happen.
Now, he was in a 1-on-1 situation. They're in the 7th-team foul right now. Padit Wang, he got his
So here we go. Padit Wang doing his part. And Chadron brings it back down. I'll tell you what, coming into tonight's game, UCCS, if they didn't know they were going to be in a fight, they do now.
That's an understatement.
That's Champion on the right wing with the ball. Shot clock at 8. Good defense so far by the Mountain Lions. Trapping Jackson underneath. 3 seconds. Shot up, off. Second effort. Burke gets it. And they're going to call a foul. And they're going to call it on Ed Burke. And that goes against Walker Andrew. He'll go back to the line. Bowberry will check in for UCCS.
Well, Walker Andrew was able to get that offensive board and tried to lay it back up, and that's when he got fouled.
There it is. Burke will come out, and so will Wilson. Nope. He'll stay in. He's just going to come over and talk to head coach Jeff Culver.
Wyatt Dolberry coming into the game right now for UCCS. Dolberry, certainly a big man as well.
Yep. So UCCS, 1:37 left in the first half. They're going to come up with something at halftime. Padit Wang, Wilson from outside, in, out, knocked away. And here comes Chadron. Padit Wang got in his way. Blend of Dilly. 116 and counting. Padit, oh! He caught it midair, was floating and tried to get it off the glass.
Just didn't have good enough position.
Oh, man. Deontay Champion hits the shot from 3.
And that's a killer right there. Up 11 now. Now what UCCS has to focus on is try to get it under 10 and just keep yourself into the game.
Yep. Walker for 3. In, out. Rebound. And Champion. Walker looked like he stuffed him.
It's getting really kind of scrappy out there right now.
And Walker's pretty upset. The fans, the UCCS side,
they're
over here.
Because when he got the ball down here for Chadron State, Walker, he turned and he spun on his rear end, okay? So a lot of people are looking at that. It's one of those calls that if the official makes it, he's right. If he doesn't make it, that doesn't mean he's wrong.
So Champion, in and out. But is it safe to say, Jerry, if you're Jeff Culver and his staff at halftime, you're going to be talking about maybe trying to pick up the tempo, pick up the pace in this game, transition basketball if you can find a way to get some hoops and climb back into this thing.
Yeah, but you're going to need to get some interior play. Yes. That's going to be your key because you can't rely on the three-pointer all night.
Nope. Right now, Chadron State.
Yeah, Walker Andrew went out, and coming in for Chadron State, Jeremy Ruffin. I don't think he's any relation to David Ruffin of the Temptations, but you never know. Now I'm really dating myself, aren't I?
Right. 37 seconds and counting. Wilson out to Padit. Off the rim. Didn't go. Under 30 seconds to play. Chadron State with a big push down the floor. Champion with the ball. 24 seconds. Drives inside. He'll get the foul. Right now, Chadron State's firing on all cylinders.
They are. They're able to drive to the bucket, draw that contact, and getting the necessary foul that they want. Is, as I always say, if you can't make the bucket, draw the foul.
So UCCS, you can see Isaiah Wilson kind of talking it up with number 2, Jason Jackson out there, exchanging the pleasantries.
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah.
Hey man, you know how it goes out, trash talking to John. Hey man, I got you last time. Hey man, I'm gonna go right around you.
We'll go out and get a burger after the game.
Right. Shot. Ben Champion hits it from the line. Yeah, it's been a rough first half for UCCS. John Clark brings it down. 17 seconds and counting. They can work for the last shot here and try to put a little bit of a statement if they can right before the half. 6 seconds. Shot off. Knocked out. Walker gets it. Sets up. Oh!
But he's going to get 3 shots here with 0.1 second left.
Yep. Headsy play by Dalton Walker.
That was really smart on his part because of the fact that he knew the clock was winding down. He got off the shot. Even if he doesn't make it, at least he gets to go to the charity stripe for 3 shots.
Yep. Honestly, it would be a good way to end the first half. Not the way you wanted, but it's something.
Like I said, you want to try and get it down under 10. There's no way they can do that, but this will certainly be a catalyst for something positive going into the locker room, right?
I agree. 0.1 seconds left on the clock in the first half. Chadron State's not only athletic, they're big.
Yes, they are.
And UCCS will go in the locker room at halftime and adapt and adjust as needs.
Remember, it's always 2 halves of basketball. So
yep, you got to play 2 full halves.
We saw that last night.
We did. We saw a 17, like you said, we saw a 17-point lead squandered.
Yeah, with 12 minutes left in the game, 17 points up, and with about 3 minutes left in the game, UCCS was actually trailing by 2.
Yep. So right now, at the end of one half, we're 1 and done. Right now, the visitors, Chadron State, they lead 50-39 over the Mountain Lions of UCCS. He's Jerry Evans. I'm George Holden, your voice for Mountain Lion basketball here at the Lions Den in Colorado Springs and Armac Hoops. Jerry, it's halftime here, and you look at it. We talked about it, some of the things we've seen in the first half. What would you say, what is the 1 or 2 key things that you see Chadron State doing to cause fits for UCCS and they're not able to respond up until this point?
Using their size mostly. I mean, that's really a key ingredient as far as Chadron State is concerned. They've hit some outside jumpers. Champion has done a pretty good job with hitting the long-range bomber, but overall, I think it's just basically getting that interior play because that's one of the things, and here they're showing on the replay the injury to Ross. I tell you, it's really tough because of the simple fact that you got all that beef in there and you're trying to offset it with great interior play, but overall UCCS is kind of outmatched with the overall size, and so if they can get over that and get some good interior play, make a couple of buckets underneath, that'll maybe free them up for Chadron State not to put so much pressure on them down low.
Yep, I would agree. He's Jerry Evans. I'm George Holden. You look at, we're halftime here in Colorado Springs last night. If you had a chance to tune into that game, what a thriller. UCCS found a way to knock off Metro State 71-70. It came down to the last second, literally, in that game. Mountain Lions earlier in this season, they went on a 10-game win streak. They were unstoppable. Then they go on the road. They lose 4 in a row. They come back. They regained their winning ways last night. Tonight, they got their hands full with a Chadron State team that comes here from Nebraska, 8-8 in the RMAC, but they're not playing like a 500 team in conference play. They're playing like they want to come out and dominate and win this game. So far they have. Hopefully UCCS will have an answer in the locker room when they come back out. Elijah Ross, as we said, hopefully he's okay. We haven't gotten anything as far as if he's out for good or what the story is. He had a knee injury earlier this season, came back the last few games. He's played well, but right at the beginning of tip-off, Jerry, first minute or two, he goes down on the floor. So hopefully he's going to be okay. If not, then guys like Isaiah Wilson are going to have to step up and play a big part.
You're absolutely right about that. And some of the key ingredients in the first half, as we look at the statistics, overall, Dalton Walker, he has been really the key. He's been the catalyst as far as UCCS is concerned. He's got 15 points in that first half. Next leading scorer is Deron Clark with 5. You got some players with 4 points. Over on the other side, we talked about the three-pointers for both teams. Deontay Champion, he has 12. You look at Dalton Walker. Both those guys have been hitting those long-range bombs, and it's been a key ingredient as far as UCCS and Chadron State is concerned. The big key here is the fact that overall, you look at how the bench play has been, and that's been also a big key that we haven't even alluded to as far as Chadron State, because you got Jacob Jefferson also with 12 points coming off the bench.
Right. Well, look at it right now. If you had to define the game in the first half, Chadron State versus UCCS, we'd call it muscle versus hustle right now.
That's
UCCS,
exactly right.
They're going to have to find a way to match up and play their brand or find a different flavor of basketball in the second half. They've got the athletes and the players to do it. We'll see if they're able to. Right now, it's halftime, 11:49 left on the clock. The UCCS dance team. We've got some other activities going on. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll set the table for you for second half action here in Colorado Springs at UCCS, the Lions Den, Gallagher Event Center. He's Jerry Evans. I'm George Holden, your voice for online basketball. Stay with us, but come back for all the second half action. You're watching NCAA Division II Hoops in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference in Colorado Springs.
The mountain lion is one of the strongest members of the feline family. The average mountain lion lives 5 times a day and consumes up to 3 times its weight in protein. It shares many characteristics with its domestic counterparts, the good and the bad. UCCS. Find your inner mountain lion. majestic mountain lion, the perfect combination of size and deadly agility. This big cat is capable of speeds of 40 to 50 miles per hour, when properly motivated. UCCS, find your inner mountain lion.
beat. beat.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Colorado Springs UCCS Mountain Lion basketball. Second game of a doubleheader here tonight. I'm George Holden, joined with Jerry Evans. And once again, congratulations the earlier game to the women's team for UCCS in dominating fashion. They knock off, Metro State. That was last night, Chadron State for Nebraska. But they get the sweep this weekend. UCCS, the men's team, they had their big win last night, 71-70, heart stopper. Right now, Jerry, they are looking at, they're down 50-39, and they are outsized. Not outmatched, outsized right now. The question is at halftime, what kind of changes on X's and O's are they going to do in order to find a way to really get back in this game?
Well, they're going to need some more good interior play, that's for sure, but also they're going to have to continue to hit that outside shot if they can do it.
Yep, so here we go. Just underway, second half, here at Gallagly Events Center. Mountain Lions in the gold, black, and white trim. The home team, Chadron State maroon, navy, and white trim. Deron Clark with the ball, feeds inside to Ian McDonald. Back up, Petit Wang. We talked about this at halftime. He's going to have to really be a factor in the second half. Petit Wang underneath, and he'll draw the foul.
That went on the big guy Gavin out there. Gavin had good position. It's just that he hit him with the arm. And so Petit Wang, he was able to drive into the interior. We talked a little bit about that earlier. If he's able to do that and draw the foul, even if he doesn't get the bucket, that's going to be a key ingredient in this second half. And they're going to need it because already they're starting off 11 points down early on in the second half.
So Petit Wang misses the first one. And free throws, man, they're going to, again, be crucial down the stretch here for UCCS. We saw them dominate first half last night, get a 17-point lead, and find a way to eke it out at the end. They find themselves on the other end tonight.
Well, there was about 6 or 7 three-pointers that were hit last night. That was a big key ingredient for Metro State.
So here we go. Chadron State with the ball and the lead. A lot of basketball to play, a little under 19 and a half minutes, but UCCS is going to have to find answers. And out comes up with the follow. That's a great follow by Jason Jackson. Gets it off the glass.
You can't let that happen. Those offensive boards for Chadron State, they've been key for them as far as mounting this lead that they have.
Yep. Walker, he'll set up off the glass. Nope. Gavin there for the rebound. Here comes the Eagles. They played pretty confident basketball tonight. Sets up for a three. Got it. Colby Jackson, the junior guard.
Nice touch on that shot.
Yep. So UCCS has found themselves out of rhythm a little bit. Deron Clark. The foul. He called on UCCS.
And Jason Jackson had the position. And Petit Wang just drove right into him. Official right there making the call. So things are not going well. UCCS was hoping to try and close the gap. Now it's starting to get wider and wider for Chadron State.
So with the ball, Chadron State, he squares up inside. That's Jeremy Ruffin. Back out to Gavin, the big guy. Snapping the work of the ball all the way around the outside. Nothing there. Best way for UCCS, in my estimation, to get back in this game, Jerry, is get your defense, set up your offense. Petit Wang get some stops on the defensive end and get buckets at the other end of the floor. Knocked away, but Isaiah Wilson snatches it, gets it out of the air. Walker for three, in, out. It was knocked away. It'll stay with the Mountain Lions.
McDonald was trying to grab onto that ball and got knocked right out of his hands, out of bounds. So they're going to need a good inbound play here. Walker, you were hoping for that three-pointer there, but just wasn't able to get it that time.
Nope. They gotta do it one trip at a time down the floor. Petit Wang, I call him the difference maker. Up, almost got the roll, but he'll go to the line.
That was a great drive to the opposite side. That's tough when you got to drive that left side of the lane and then put up the right-handed shot. But like I always said, even if you don't make the bucket, at least you're able to draw the foul.
Yep. Create opportunities for yourself. So Petit Wang will be at the line. He's 6'4", junior guard out of Overland High School in Denver.
We saw him last night slam dunk one. And at 6'4", it looked like he was about 11 feet in the air.
He definitely has an incredible vertical leap. And his wingspan. He's got long arms.
He just needs to pack on some pounds.
Yes. Petit Wang, he is a junior, so he's got another year to play. Chadron State with the ball.
A lot of burgers and fries will help that out.
And they'll continue to work around the outside. If you're UCCS, it's obviously you're not going to panic. You're going to look for stops. Pull-up jumper. In, out, rebound. Pulled down by Jackson. Shot clock resets. Knocked away by Dolberry, but it'll stay with the Eagles.
You know, you saw Jason Jackson trying to drive to the hole and really take it to McDonald, but McDonald's got him by about almost a full foot, it looks like, as far as height is concerned.
Oh, yeah. So, the factor has been Charles Gavin inside. UCCS has tried 3 or 4 different guys so far. They just keep rotating bodies. Back up top, long-range three, got it. And that's Jeremy Ruffin. Ruffin is a 6'5" senior out of Chicago, Illinois.
It's back up to a 15-point lead now, 57-42.
McDonald, Ruffin picks it.
That was an ill-advised pass right in the middle of the lane.
Deron Clark returns the favor for UCCS. Right back the other way. So it wasn't costly there. Clark and Gavin, they run into each other. Gavin's going to get the better end of something like that. In, out, Gavin will get the board. All the way up to Champion. Goes up and gets the bucket.
Looked like he might have gotten fouled, but no call by the official. They granted him the bucket.
Number 21 will check in. Walker Andrew for Chadron State. You talk about a very fiery head coach, Houston Reed. The shot off the glass.
There's Show Me Wilson.
There he is, Isaiah. He needed to start coming up with some shots. He did right there. Underneath, Gavin, the big guy, and he gets it.
But what a great feed on that one by Jason Jackson as he just bounced it right back to him.
Set him up.
Yeah, he did.
The 1-2 punch. Petit Wang. Mountain Lions don't want to let this thing get out of control. They lose the ball. Chadron State, number 2, Jason Jackson, looked like he was trying to call timeout.
Well, he felt like he had the possession on the ball, but he was tied up by Petit Wang as well. So the official said, no, we got a jump ball out there. So Chadron was trying to plead their case, but to no avail. The official said, we got a jump ball, and thus now we have a timeout.
Yep. Timeout on the floor, 15:31 to play here in the second half. I want to remind you that UCCS is part of an RMAC-wide agreement with Stretch Internet as the designated streaming partner. All games are available for free and can be viewed on desktop, mobile devices, and the RMAC Network app channel through Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, and Amazon Fire TV. UCCS will also make select home games available on social media networks, including Facebook Live, Twitter, via Periscope, and or YouTube. George Holden, your voice for Mountain Lion basketball, joined by the one and only Jerry Evans. And right now, UCCS, it's, I haven't seen a whole lot of change yet, Jerry. They're down 61-44. What is the answer for them at this point with 15 and a half minutes left?
Just keep going hard at it, I guess, is about the best way you can put it, because it is tough down there. It's tough down in the interior, and if you're not able to hit that outside shot, you can't open that up to allow you to get some entry passes and maybe a couple of easy buckets. But right now, it's a simple case that it's Chadron State applying good pressure defense out there, and also some excellent passing. And like Deontay Champion, 14 points so far. Jacob Jefferson, still, we have not seen him in the second half, and he was integral in that first half with 12 points. But Charles Gavin, he has applied a lot of his beef to the whole circumstance here, and he's now with 10 points in the second half.
He's been a thorn in the side of the Mountain Lions so far in this game.
He's been a beast, actually.
Yes. Eagles and Mountain Lions, primetime Predators. Right now, Eagles have the advantage. And UCCS, without Elijah Ross, looking to fill some voids. Shot up. Jerron Clark flies in and grabs the rebound. Here come the Mountain Lions. They need to get something positive going here. Wilson thought about it. Drives inside. Dishes off to Dolberry. Dolberry to Titus Reed, and it's short. And Dolberry will get it back. Wilson for three. In and out, and Dolberry tried to grab another rebound, but it stays with the Mountain Lions. Tough, physical offensive possession for UCCS.
And head coach Jeff Culver up off the bench. He's, rattling off his complaint about the fact that there was so much contact in there and not one foul was called.
Yep, back to Wilson. He'll set up shop up top. Blend of Dilly, bumping, working his way inside, looking for the angle. Had it. Nope, back to Jerron Clark. Blend of Dilly. Out to Dolberry. Working around. Wilson. Jerron Clark. Off the back. And Gavin gets the rebound all the way up to Champion. Oh, and it was too much. Forces it. And it's a 5-on-4. Jerron Clark. Blend of Dilly. It's off. And the rebound pulled down by Jason Jackson.
The shortest man on the court.
UCCS is not getting them to drop. Shots aren't dropping, but Jackson will draw a foul at the other end. It'll be on Titus Reed.
It was a good drive on the right side there for Jackson, as he was able to get the contact that he needed, even if he didn't make the bucket.
Yep. And so Petit Wang will check back in. That was a short breather for him.
Well, you got to have him out there. He's a playmaker.
Yep, he knows that.
And Deontay Champion is coming back into the game along with Jeremy Ruffin for Chadron State.
Yep, Jerron Clark will check out.
I'm sorry, that was Ruffin in for Champion.
So right now, you look at UCCS, Jerry. They look a little bit out of sorts.
They look like they're kind of worn out and very frazzled by the strong defense and lack of opportunities that they've had, and especially in this second half so far.
UCCS trying to move it around. Great defense by Chadron State. They're making it really difficult. Blend of Dilly thought about it. Now he'll drive. Got the shot! Switches from the right to the left and lays it off the glass. That's a good start.
You learn that stuff in third or fourth grade, that left-handed layup like that.
Yep. So they've got UCCS has got to dig down deep on defense. Working around the outside. and get that denial mentality. The big guy underneath, off. Titus Reed there, snatches it. Comes down the floor. They got to play smart basketball and work for good shots. Petit Wang. And Petit tries to go underneath. Lock, load, fire. Dolberry got it! Bullseye from the outside.
They're going to need quite a few more of those.
Yep. Keep their composure. And that's Jason Jackson. Like you said, he's kind of like a Elijah Ross style player. Same kind of, he's cut from the same mold.
Well, they're both short and very stockily built.
6 foot 170. Not a big guy.
Well, no, but I mean, the frame looks that much better. But as far as being able to control the possession, that's what he, along with Elijah Ross, are very key, integral parts of their team. And with Ross out, you can see the significance of why it's important to have an effective point guard, because you're seeing a lot of missed opportunities for UCCS.
Yep. They always say that the point guard is the quarterback on the floor. He's got to see the entire floor. Jason Jackson. Shot clock at 14. Loose ball. And it's kids. They're going to get him for using the foot. So, Mountain Lions had a couple good trips up the floor offensively. They need a lot more, like you said. And great stops on defense. Somebody's got to step up. The feed underneath the Ruffin. And he'll get the shot and go to the line.
And that foul's going to go on Glenn DeVille. He went for the head and shoulder fake. And
right now we've seen Chadron State use their matchups effectively here tonight.
But what I was going to say is that fake that you have like that, a lot of players don't use that. They just immediately go up and, they're either going to draw the contact or they're going to make the shot.
Right.
I always was a believer in doing the fake first. That's what I was notorious for. But, that's something that oftentimes you don't see, especially at this level of college play.
Yep. Well, Isaiah Wilson, he's the trigger man tonight. And really got to start finding his game. Inside to Dolberry, matched up. Deron Clark, step up. Off the rim. Looked like it had a chance, but nope. It's grabbed by Chadron State. The clock closing in on 12 minutes. A lot of basketball to play, but it's got to start soon. Feed inside. Abdilli had it, but he was off balance and couldn't get control of the ball. That was a good opportunity. Timeout on the floor. We'll take a quick one as well. Exactly 12 minutes left in this contest. Right now, UCCS, they need some help. They're down 65-48 to Chadron State. He's Jerry Evans. I'm George Holden, your voice for Mountain Basketball in Colorado Springs, NCAA Division II hoops in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. We'll be back from the Lions Den in just a quick. To Colorado Springs, and it's been a very physical, aggressive contest. Chadron State, they're big, they're physical. UCCS is trying to find a way to work around that. Dalton Walker, he'll check in momentarily for UCCS. Hit some big threes early, and he's got to come up with some money shots here in this game. Chadron State pull-up jumper, got it! Michael Sparks, he is a spark.
Wow. He's done real well.
Isaiah Wilson sets up, got it! Show me, hits it.
That was a nice fake move there by Wilson.
This is kind of deja vu. UCCS late in the game last night was up by 17. They win by 1. Right now they're down by 17. Could this be?
I was going to point that out.
Flip the script.
Yep.
Hopefully it will be so. Chadron State, but they got to start working for that right now. Focus and finish. Drives inside Chadron State. The shot up. Knocked off. Blend of Dilly got it. He wants to get it up to Padit Wang. Padit out to Wilson. Wilson will put it up for 3. In, out, and rebound by Ruffin. All the way up. And Ruffin they'll set it up again. They're in control of this game right now, and they've got wind in their sails. UCCS needs to find a way to throw down the anchor on that. So Blend of Dilly will check out. Dalton Walker will check back in.
And he's been invisible in this second half. He had 15 points at half, still with 15 points. So that's a big factor right there. He's going to have to hit some long-range bombs.
I agree.
If UCCS or anybody else, if they can hit them, that's the only way they're going to get back into this game.
Yep.
Much the way Metro State did last night against UCCS.
Yep. Flip the script. Isaiah Wilson. That was pretty. Just kind of snuck and hid through. Lays it up with the left hand. And Chadron. Offensively, they've been pretty good. The shot up, and it's good. Walker Andrew. UCCS is able to get a bucket here and there. They just can't stop it at the other end of the floor. Deron Clark. Oh! And he takes a shot. Looks like to the chin. That's on 33. Another Jacob Jefferson.
Jacob Jefferson was a menace in the first half. He scored 12 points. He's been also silent in the second half. You got to wonder about Walker and Jefferson. They were really key players in the first half, and neither one of them has scored in the second half.
Yep. You got to wonder with the rotations and such. Let me ask you this question. I know one player doesn't win or lose games for you. However, they are a factor. So without UCCS, do you think this game would look any different if Elijah Ross was in the lineup tonight?
Well, I do, because he is a playmaker. He's the one that kind of sets up the whole offense. And from that strategy point, that's what you really want to have as your motivator. So it's really tough, because I think overall, without Elijah Ross in there, Wilson, he's doing a good job, but I don't think that he has the playmaking ability at this particular point in his career that Ross has. And Ross, everybody's used to him. You know, like you said before, he's the quarterback out on the court. And right now, they don't have their Peyton Manning and your Brett Favre out there, or maybe even John Elway.
That's well said, Jerry. You look at UCS, I agree with you. Wilson, talented player, different flavor, different brand of basketball, as you said with Elijah Ross. 2 words come to mind when I look at Elijah Ross from last year and this year doing the games: court awareness.
Absolutely.
He's that kid. He's got the court awareness that he knows that it's a well-oiled car when he's in there. Everything's fired like it should be. It sputters a little bit when he's not, and they're trying to find a different brand of game right now, and it's time's becoming a factor.
It really is, and all you got to do is look at the scoreboard to realize how much they've been sputtering. 69-52. Now, once again, we pointed out that at the 12-minute mark, there was a 17-point lead last night for UCCS. They barely hung on. Tonight, Chadron State, I don't think it's going to be a situation that they're going to allow UCCS to get back into this game unless UCCS can hit some long-range bombs.
Yep. Number 10 has checked in for Chadron State. Trey Kildaki, he's a freshman. He's out of Gillette, Wyoming. And boy, he's 5'10", 150. Playing with guys 6'8" and 6'7".
5'8", 150?
Yep.
I might even be able to block his shot. I don't know.
Deron Clark. Got it. So if you're UCCS, you got to start pulling out the stops. Under 10 minutes to play in this game. They've got the talent to do it. It's just a matter of will they. Chadron they're content moving the basketball around and milking some clock. Pull-up jumper, off. Knocked away. Clark with a good effort for that rebound, almost loses it. That the freshman comes up with it and hands it off to Isaiah Wilson. Padit Wang. We talked earlier, by himself. Great look by Walker to Wilson, the 1-2 punch, and finds him underneath.
And in a roundabout way, that was the old-fashioned give and go.
Yep. And that was about as easy as it gets.
Very fortunate.
Oh, my gosh.
Yep, there he is. I pointed out that he had not scored in the second half. I must have given him a little bit of a spark as he nails that three-pointer, Jacob Jefferson.
Wow. The big guy had somebody in his face, still hits it. Padit Wang back to Clark. UCCS, it seems like they've been off tonight. Isaiah Wilson, but he's forcing it. Looking for help. McDonald, Deron Clark for three. Got it! Deron Clark, boy, do they need that. But they got to get back on defense. Wilson, he was flying right by it a million miles an hour. He reaches in to try to grab it.
Colby, I'm sorry, that was Jason Jackson, and he was just taking it to the hole, and he got tied up by Wilson. Wilson was hoping for the jump ball call, but the official thought that he got him on the arm as well. So,
yep. Titus Reed checks in. Blend of Dilly checks in. So, Jeff Culver's going to move guys in and out.
Well, he's got to figure out something here because they need to close that gap and in a hurry.
Oh, good defense by UCCS. They force it.
Now, that's something you very rarely ever see in a college basketball game, a 5-second call on the inbounds play. That was kind of amazing. But Jackson was taking his time and kind of looking over the court.
So here we go. Padit Wang, Blend of Dilly. All these guys are great three-point shooters. Just a matter of Blend of Dilly. Off. Pulled down out of the air by Jason Jackson. And he is right down the floor. Goes up against Dilly with the block and the rebound.
And there's a call by the official. A lot of people would say, well, Padit Wang maybe initiated that contact, but the defensive player was not set on that one, so the official called the block. That was one of those bang-bang type things that you see is like a play at first base in baseball.
So here we go. Mountain Lions in a bind. 72-58. Closing in on 8 minutes left in the game. Clock continues to run. No answers yet for UCCS. Titus Reed underneath. And just sliced through and found just enough of an opening to get that shot up.
And they're slicing into that lead as well. 72-60 now.
Walker matched up on Bennett, the big guy. Champion on a Dilly. Champion up with a shot short. Took back. Champion to another. And it's gold ball. And Champion's upset. But great job by UCCS. Another timeout on the floor. 72-60, 7:33 left in the game. This thing is heating up in Colorado Springs at the Lions Den. He's Jerry Evans. I'm George Holden, your voice for Mountain Lion basketball. Stay with us. We'll be back from Colorado Springs. RMAC basketball, NCAA Division II. We're having fun. We hope you are too. Here we go. George Holden, Jerry Evans. This is turning into a good one, Jerry.
It really is during that timeout. And one of the things we were watching was Elijah Ross was over here on the bench. He's saying, okay, I can't play. But he's over here. He's being a team leader. He's encouraging his fellow teammates, saying, hey, we got to keep going here. He's also kind of sort of giving out some instructions as well to help out the players. So that's the key ingredient there is that he's a team leader.
Yep, lead by example. Isaiah Wilson underneath. And he drives underneath the basket. He'll draw a foul. So things starting to get serious for UCCS. Down by 12. Not out of reach, but changes have to be made, and quickly.
That's right. Michael Sparks was trying to get Wilson on a charge, but he did not have good position, so the official was right there for the call.
Padit Wang gets it. Jumps up and hits a big shot, uses the glass.
That was over J.C. Jackson, and Petit Wang not only has some height on him, certainly probably has a little bit better jumping ability as well.
So Chadron State, they're trying to close this thing out, but UCCS won't go away. They're going to call a foul on Dalton Walker, UCCS.
Well, that's something we pointed out in the first half, how they were really letting them bang bodies and whatnot. And here we have another situation where they're banging bodies and maybe holding on to each other. This time the official felt like it was way too much, so he made the call.
So it's a non-shooting foul. Jackson will inbound. Oh! That's going to go back Mountain Line way.
An inbound violation somewhere. Didn't quite see what it was, but nonetheless, it's over to the Mountain Lions, so they got a chance now to close it back down to within 10.
Wilson out to Padit Wang. They've got some blend of Dilly and Walker. Padit Wang, they're all good three-point shooters, but they got to start hitting those now. Padit Wang underneath to Abdilli, out to Walker. Got it! Deadeye Dalton Walker! Like a gunfighter, hits his mark.
He's been silent this second half, but all of a sudden he opened up the barrel.
Yep, under 6.5 to play. Getting closer, but close isn't enough. Mountain Lions this season have won a lot of close games, and they've had to come back more than once. This team's capable. As a coach used to preach to me, poise and control. Jackson, 3-2, the shot up, and it's off, but the putback by Walker Andrew.
He was in the right place at the right time.
Man, great! It was great defense for UCCS, but
yeah.
you have to take account for everybody out there on the floor, and he snuck around the back and put himself in position to help his teammate out.
And that was the key there. So right now you're looking at a 9-point game, 6 minutes left. That's certainly not out of reach. And we were reiterating the fact that at 12 minutes it was 17-point lead. All of a sudden, 6 minutes later, it's now a 9-point lead. So what you want to try and do, as you pointed out earlier in the game, is take it one play at a time. One bucket at a time. Don't try to sit back and think, well, if we get this one, then maybe then on the next one we can get. Don't look forward. Always just look at what's happening right in the play that's at hand.
So what's the old saying, Jerry? Is it how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? And that's.
I don't know. I've never eaten it.
Right. I don't know anybody that has, but I don't know how that saying got out there, but I don't know anybody that's ever done that. But it makes sense.
Yes, it does.
Got to be able to do that. Mountain Lions, they're creeping back into this thing, inching their way back. Wilson. Oh, he'll draw a foul.
Yeah, that went on Walker Andrew.
So Wilson filling his role tonight. He wasn't, I guarantee you, we both know, he wasn't expecting this much playing time tonight.
No,
but you got to be ready when your number's called, right?
Yeah, you're right about that. And he's coming through right now. He's playing a lot better in the second half and creating more opportunities for not only everyone else, but also for himself.
Yep. You always want to play up, right? You don't want to play down. So Wilson, Shelby gets the first one. So far this weekend of these UCCS basketball men's and women's games, they're 3-0. If they find a way to come back and steal this one, there'll be a 4-game sweep this weekend at the Lions Den.
For men and women.
Yep. Wilson gets them both. Chadron State has been a formidable opponent tonight.
They really have led from start to finish, just like UCCS did last night until about 3 minutes left in the game. All of a sudden, they were trailing by 2.
Whoa. And Champion loses his footing. Jeff Culver is pleading his case.
The official is not paying attention at all on that one because Culver is really, like you said, he's trying to plead his case. Official saw something else. But as you pointed out, it looked like Champion slipped and went down on his own, but the lead official made the call, and that's what they got to go with.
The Champion, he'll miss the first free throw. It was called on Petit Wang. The Mountain Lion bench likes that. They're up on their feet clapping.
Well, we're in the bonus right now.
Yep.
Both teams are going to have 17 fouls at least.
So Champion goes 1 of 2 at the line. Blend of Dilly, pressure defense coming for Chadron State. And UCCS right now, they're looking for a hardwood hero tonight. Walker pulls up. He'll draw a foul. He did that earlier.
Yeah, he had 3 shots. That was right before the end of the first half. So he's got another opportunity to drain 3 free throws here. And if he can do that, you have yourself a situation where Chadron State is starting to breathe a little bit harder and whatnot, and they're going to be a little bit more concerned about things because right now UCCS, they have battled back. You got to give them a lot of credit. They did not tank this game at all.
Nope. Walker, and I believe that foul was on Gavin. That's key because we still got 5:16 left. Depending on where Gavin is on fouls, that's crucial for this basketball game.
I believe he has 4 right now.
He gets 1 more. That could change the dynamic of this game.
Well, it's 5:16 left in the game right now, but I think they brought in Jefferson. And
just to make sure.
And they probably also have Jeremy Ruffman on the other side. But I tell you what, Walker is doing a great job. This is each time that he's had 3 shots, he's nailed every one of those free throws. He is 5 for 5 right now and trying to make it 6 for 6.
So he hits this, he'll cut the deficit to only 5. Walker,
there you go.
Trifecta. He gets all 3 of them. He's money at the free throw line. So Chadron State knows that the Mountain Lions are able to bite back, and they do.
Well, as the old sportscaster Keith Jackson used to say, we got ourselves a barn burner.
Boy, those days of college football with him were timeless.
Yeah, they were outstanding.
So right there, UCCS, it turns back over to them, and the momentum has seemed to have shifted now. But it's the opportunity knocks. Will UCCS walk through the door? We'll see. Petit Wang back to Wilson. He's played really good in the second half. He's showing us. Show me Wilson takes it upon himself and hits the shot and draws to within 3. Mountain Lions are starting to feel it. It's a confidence shift. They know they're in it.
And it looked like Chadron State might have gotten away with a travel there.
And again, I'll say it again, they fought back from behind in a lot of games this season. They're no stranger from coming from behind. 4 seconds on the what a great setup and a good finish by Jacob Jefferson.
It was an outstanding lob pass. That's one for the highlight reel.
They have to look for the big guy coming back door. Petit Wang. Petit Wang drives in, tries to put it off the glass, but he will go to the free throw line. So the Mountain Lions are keeping pace.
They are. Jason Jackson with the foul on that one. So now what you got to do as far as Petit Wang is concerned, get these free throws. Guys get back, get set up on defense because you want to make sure that these possessions have a true big purpose for you.
And he hits the first one. So right now, the proverbial phrase comes into play. UCCS is knocking on the door.
They are.
And sometimes
all they got to do is open it.
Yep. Or when you knock and they don't let you in, kick it in.
Yep.
Just kick it down.
It's like Bum Phillips used to say, kick the door in on the Super Bowl.
Right. Kick the door in. So it's a 3-point game again. UCCS within striking distance of taking the lead in this one with under 4 minutes to play. This is where you earn it. Ruffin underneath working on Dilly. Good shot by Ruffin. Backed up.
Ruffin has a little bit of size on O'Villy, so.
Yep. Walker pulls up. Oh, way off. And Champion thought he had it.
Yeah, he lost control of it as he was going out of bounds, so UCCS will get possession on the inbounds play.
And it's a 5-point game. They're going to have to capitalize. 3:41 left in this game. I want to remind you that UCCS, they're part of an owner-back-wide agreement with Stretch Internet as the designated streaming partner. All games are available for free and can be viewed on desktop, mobile devices, and the RMAC Network app channel through Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, and Amazon Fire TV. UCCS will also make select home games available on social media networks, including Facebook Live, Twitter via Periscope, and or YouTube. George Holden along with Jerry Evans, and you know what? The men's game last night was well worth it. This one's turning out the same kind of game.
That's exactly right. Now, earlier I talked about in this second half how Dalton Walker was invisible. He had 15 points at half. He had 15 points for a long time. Hit a crucial three-pointer, and was also able to draw the foul and on a three-point shot.
Right.
Nailed all three of those three-pointers. So now he's up with 21 points. Also, Isaiah Wilson, we've talked about the fact that he's had to fill in the shoes of Elijah Ross. He's now with 16 points and doing a great job of dishing off, driving to the bucket, creating some opportunities. So that's a key ingredient as far as UCCS is concerned, and they need to keep that flow going. Only down by 5, 3:41 left in the game.
So here we go. Couldn't have said it any better, Jerry. And Mountain Lions get a break. They get the ball under their own basket. And, boy, you talk about finding your shot. This is where they need it. Everybody's got to be able to look for the good opportunity and hit your shots. Walker will inbound. McDonald. And a foul, and it'll go against Chadron State. That's on number 3 on Champion. That's a pushing foul.
That's 3 on Champion.
Yep, and so Wilson will go to the line. We've seen Elijah Ross win games going to the line, and maybe Isaiah Wilson is going to take a page out of his playbook.
Well, like I said earlier, Ross was over here giving out instructions, encouraging his teammates. Hey, that's showing that he was a team leader, and I think Isaiah Wilson was probably listening to what he had to say.
When Elijah Ross is sitting there when he's doing that, that's the kind of guy that as a player you could see he could possibly be a coach down the road because
right.
He's injured, he can't perform, but he's able to help.
Yep.
And Wilson answers, hits them both.
He's being a true teammate.
So Chadron State looked some points in this game that they were just going to run away with this thing, and the Mountain Lions had other ideas. But it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Ruffin working on McDonald. Pass. Oh! Ho-ho! Deron Clark, great defense.
Tied him up, called the jump ball. Looks like UCCS gets it back on the change of possession.
Mountain Lion ball. Is this going to be, we talked about it. I mean, 17 points up last night. They come back and win by 1. They find themselves down by 17. They're fighting back.
It's deja vu.
Yep. And this has been a cardiac catch. Oh my gosh, it was there. Clark had it. That was a gimme underneath. Oh, well, they don't pay for it there. Walker comes down with it. Panit Wings directed traffic. Deron Clark. Oh!
He made amends there.
3 words, just like that. We're tied at 79 all. And Clark and Champion.
We're having a bit of a skirmish here. The officials are trying to.
They're tied up.
Everybody's coming off. There was some bumping of chests out there by both teams.
And Champion and Walker.
Now, Clark did something that wasn't very good.
And Champion better be careful. He's going to get called for a tech.
Yeah.
And he's still losing it over there.
Well, Clark bounced off of that three-pointer and was saying in your face, something along that line.
Ruffin now getting upset on the other end. And they're still trying to hold him back. And, this is one of those situations, we talked about it before. One of the most important things as a player that you learn, or as a coach to a player, is learning to control your emotions and not let them control you, right? I
was going to say it with 3 words, keep your cool.
Keep your cool.
And with that, you got both teams. They're fired up now. It's 79-79. There was a 17-point lead with 12 minutes left. UCCS, 7 points. 12 minutes left. 7 points. 12 minutes left. 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 And Champion, he didn't like what Clark did, but and I have to agree in some respects that wasn't the right way to handle it. You make the three-pointer, you run down the court and start playing defense. You don't try to get in somebody's face about things and try to, stuff out your chest or anything like that.
You've been here, Jerry. I don't mean to interrupt you, but you've been in this situation 1,000 times. The officials are at mid-court, half-court. They're talking it over. What are they talking about over there?
Well, they're talking about we got to keep this game under control. If it's tight, we need to call it. They're also in a situation that you're also going to want to let them play, but like I said, if there's a tight call, you got to make that call. You want to make sure that the players stay under control. You don't want to have some big melee out there that you're not going to be able to control, and then all of a sudden you got a big fight going on.
Yep, well said. Boy, we said in the first half, Jerry, this was a physical, aggressive, up-tempo game where both teams were looking to go mano-a-mano and eyeball to eyeball, and that's what it's turned out to be. These guys, and I think you saw Champion and Ruffin, those guys were getting upset because right now UCCS, by the way they fought back from 17 points down to tie this game, they've gotten in their head at this point.
Well, one of the key factors also is the fact that Chadron State doesn't have their big man in the game, Charles Gavin.
No.
Gavin creates a lot of space, and he creates a lot of havoc, and that's one thing UCCS has not had to encounter in the last 5 to 6 minutes.
And we looked at earlier as the officials will come over to the side here, and they're going to talk things over. But you looked at Deron Clark and Champion. They started to get tied up. I thought it was a smart play. Dalton Walker is a senior. He steps in. You got Deron Clark is a freshman. Walker's a senior. He steps in the middle of that. He could see where that thing was going to go. So he gets in the middle of that as a buffer. And as an older guy, that's what you do. Hey, we just tied the game. We don't need a technical foul right now. Back off. And I think Dalton Walker deserves a lot of credit right there getting in the way.
That's right. And you got to applaud that thinking ability on his part. Right now the officials are over at the scorer's table. I'm just wondering right offhand, with all the activity that was going on and players coming at each other and coaches trying to pull players back and the officials pulling players back, are they going to call possibly technical fouls here? I'm not sure, because they're going to go back and look and see who actually came out on the court, because it looked like there was a couple of Chadron State players that came out on the court during that whole incident, and there also was some from UCCS as well, because you had and the coaches, they were trying to pull their players back, and other players trying to pull the significant people.
So they're going to take a look at it. Here it is. We're going to see the replay here. And there was a push-off. And it looked like Ruffin pushed Clark. And then Champion ended up locking arms somehow with Clark. Well, but if you look at the replay, when they showed it, it looked like it was Ruffin toward Clark. And then at the end of this thing, before it really got heated up, as we said before, Dalton Walker steps in front of Clark. He's one of the seniors on this team and gets in the way to make sure that, he was trying. I mean, what's running through his mind is we don't need a foul right now. We don't need a technical foul. We just tied this thing up. We're right back in it. We can win this game. 2.5 minutes left. We don't need that right now. So we'll see what the officials are going to.
Well, I think one of the things that they're also looking at is right after Clark hit the three-pointer, was it Ruffin that got in his face and that caused Clark to jump out and puff out his chest? Now, that's what I'm seeing here, is that possibility. It also could be just simply that Clark, once he made the three-pointer, he was, was really pumped up about it and puffed out his chest at that point. And you're not supposed to do that. I mean, it's one of those cases where, like I always said, act like you've been there before. Okay, when you nail that long-range bomb, be happy about it, but run down the court and get ready to play defense.
Right. And Jerry, if I had to make any kind of prediction with the last 2:51 left in the game, Mountain Lions fight back to tie it up, the team that wins this game is the team that keeps their head in this last 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, like I said, keep your cool. That's what you need to do out there. And so the officials are going to make sure they get this right. They're checking the replay once again to find out where the whole incident started.
Yep. So
we know that Clark hit the three-pointer. We know that he puffed out his chest, but what we don't know is whether or not Ruffin initiated some kind of contact after the shot.
Yep. And if that, they're going to make sure they try to diagnose this thing and get it right. And they're working feverishly on the side here, and they've got 2 sets of eyes, 4 eyes total looking at this thing, and they're going to make that choice.
Well, if they had me over there, they'd have another 4 eyes because I wear glasses.
We look at timeout, or it's a stoppage of play right now. They're going to work things out. This one, we've talked about a thriller, and we called it earlier in the season. These guys have turned in the UCCS they've turned into the cardiac cats. I mean, they've won some close games this season, and it's one thing when you win by 30, 35 points, you run away with it. When you're able to climb back into a game like this, and you're able to tie the game with this much time left, that shows grit and moxie when you're able to do that.
Absolutely. 71-70 last night against Metro State. UCCS was up by 17 points. Actually lost the lead late in the game, then came back and were able to battle it out and then get that crucial win last night, 71-70. Here at 79-79, UCCS was trailing by 17 points with 12 minutes left in the game. How ironic is all that? But now you got the situation where the tempers were flaring and players were very emotional. Once Clark hit that three-pointer, I know that was an emotional boost for him. But like I said, when you do that situation, all you do is be happy about the shot and go down and get ready to set up, because you still got to play defense. You still got to make the defensive plays down on the other side of the court. So the officials are still talking it over about this whole situation. So I'm pretty sure what they're going to do is they're going to find out who the players were that came out, and they may assess technical fouls here. I'm not sure, but they've got to come up with some kind of decision here.
Well, you look at coming down the stretch, we just talked about whoever keeps their head wins this game, but basics and fundamentals.
Yeah.
Down the stretch here and do what needs to be done. You look at the RMAC standings right now, but if you look at UCCS, if they can find a way to pull this one off here, they'll go 14-9, 11-6 in the RMAC. And if you look at the RMAC right now, conference play, UCCS, Dixie State, and Mesa all 10-6 records. Not sure what Mesa and Dixie State did tonight, but you look at New Mexico Highlands and Black Hills State, they're one game ahead of everybody. So you look at New Mexico Highlands, Black Hills State, Colorado Mesa, Dixie State, UCCS, and UCCS, those 5 teams, they're all within a game of each other right now. So it's a matter of you control your own destiny. You don't want to shoot yourself in the foot. And this is the kind of game for UCCS. Let's go back, if you're just joining us, earlier in the season, they go on a 10-game win streak. They drop 4 in the road. They come back, win a close one last night. If they want to bounce back, get back to their winning ways, wins like this will go over huge, gearing up for the postseason.
You're absolutely right. You got to take care of business tonight, but next weekend, one of those opponents for UCCS is going to be CSU Pueblo, and their record not that strong, 4-12 in the conference. So you might be getting a team that has been struggling a bit over the course of the year. So you want to look forward to that, but you also got to question, will Elijah Ross be back to play in those games next weekend? Hopefully this injury isn't too severe. But, Wilson has done an admirable job of filling in those shoes, and especially in this last 7-8 minutes or so, they've been able to work the ball inside, get a couple of effective drives, and also hit some big-time three-pointers.
Yep, and also just Brandon Malone, he's in street clothes. He's normally a really big, solid shooter outside from three-point land for UCCS. He wasn't active tonight. So Ross, Brandon Malone, those guys are guards. They lost two major guards on this team, and so admirably UCCS was able to fight back. But again, it's about how you finish, and so they've got about 2:51 left in this game, and both teams, you can see, kind of eyeballing each other from across the way. And luckily, the officials, coaching staffs got in the middle of that thing before things got out of hand.
Well, it was a big melee, and it's tough out there because players are emotional, coaches are emotional. The officials have to try and keep calm out there and just make the calls as they see them. So all those factors that come into play here. Right now, they're still trying to sort it all out.
Yep.
And it looks like the officiating staff is maybe finally coming to a decision, and they're trying to talk to both coaches and say, okay, here's what we're going to do. And as yet, we still don't know what they're going to do.
Head coach for Chadron State, Houston Reed, and Jeff Culver, they were over talking to the officials. And looks like a player for Chadron State, I think it was number 1. He left, so that's Michael Sparks. And it looks like, and
And I think an assistant coach, a couple of coaches, maybe for Chadron State, have been excused from the gymnasium.
Yep, and for UCCS had a couple of their coaches walk out. So UCCS, they're huddling up, and Dalton Walker, they're all smiling in there. And I think the way it's looking, I think UCCS is going to shoot some free throws here, Jerry. Timeout, UCCS. We'll take another quick one as well. Keep it here, though, folks. 2:51 remaining. UCCS overcoming a 17-point deficit to knot this game up at 79-79. The officials, sorry, it's taken us a little bit to sort this thing out, but the officials, they had to do their job.
Yeah, they did, and you got to applaud their effort because they went over to the replay screen and said, all right, we're going to figure this out. We're going to look at every different angle that we have available, and then we're going to come with the final decision.
Tail of the tape, right? I mean, that's the old saying, Jerry. Video doesn't lie.
No.
You know, when an official sees it, he said, hey, you know what? He or she says, this is what I'm seeing, I'm going with it. And again, I don't know how you do it because I'm the kind of guy, I'm so fiery, that kind of stuff. I don't think I could be an official and be able to just keep my composure and my cool.
Well, they are going to have Colby Jackson shooting free throws for Chadron State, so this is the technical fouls.
Yep. And the fans are stomping here for UCCS as Colby Jackson misses the first one, second one up, he hits it.
Okay, now they're going to go down to the other end of the court, shoot the technical foul down here, so Walker will take those shots. He's been outstanding from the line, 6 for 6. I hope I don't jinx him.
All the people here in the gym watching him, he's down by 1, and how many times growing up over the years was he in his driveway or the park shooting by himself from the free throw line? This is where it pays off. Two assistant coaches from UCCS were ejected and a player from Chadron State.
See, that's the problem is, you know, when you're trying to break up a fight and you get out on the court, then you get penalized.
Dalton Walker ties it at 80 apiece. With this one, they can take the lead. UCCS, I believe, Jerry, will have their first lead. Got it! Dalton Walker.
Now, he's got another couple of free throws coming. Apparently, there were 2 technicals, maybe even 3. We haven't still figured out the final decision out there. There he goes. He finally missed one.
Yep.
But he's getting 4 free throws here, so obviously 2 technical fouls.
Got it. They lead by 2. So UCCS, they got over that hump.
Yeah, well, they had the 2 technicals that they got to shoot. Chadron State got to shoot 1 free throw or 1 set of free throws on their technical foul, but 2 UCCS coaches have been ejected.
So here we go. Mountain Lions with the lead and a little momentum here by 2. 2:43 and counting. Got to take some high percentage shots here. And a foul. And it's going to go on Chadron State. Trey Hildaki, number 10. He's filling in, I believe, for the player that was escorted to the locker room.
Michael Sparks.
Yep. That's. I'm going to be. When you have that when you have somebody coming off of the bench in a situation like that, that's tough shoes to fill.
Yeah, and he's that gentleman from Gillette, Wyoming, 5'8". Has maybe had a lot of experience in the RMAC as far as playing time, but he's in there now, and he's going to be relied upon to help out with the whole situation. 82-80 right now, UCCS up on top. They have not led in this game until just now.
They can go up. Isaiah Wilson, 3. Hits this, they can go up by 4. And Deron Clark and
we've said
Ruffin they're still talking, and the official came over to him and he's telling him stop. So it's continued. It's heated out there. Wilson gets them both. It's a 4-point lead. Here we go. Fasten your seatbelts. Chadron State up the floor. They're missing Sparks. Pull up jumper. and out. Rebound by McDonald. Deron Clark's got it.
Head coach Jeff Culver is saying, all right, slow it down, guys. Let's set things up. He doesn't want everybody to get so emotional and get out of hand here.
Number 24, Charles Gavin, the big guy. He will check back in momentarily for Chadron State. That's going to be an issue. Wilson, pull-up shot. It's on. Oh! Ian McDonald was waiting in the wings and helping his buddy out and just knocked it over the rim. 6-point lead, Mountain Lions. Long-range shot by Ruffin off. Deron Clark with the rebound. You talk about a momentum shift since that stoppage of play, and the Mountain Lions have taken advantage of it.
Who'd have thunk it?
Yep. And they're playing confident, the confident Cats right now. Oh, a foul! Another one on Traildaki on Isaiah Wilson. And he says, thank you very much. I'll go to the line again.
Hidaki was playing really tight defense and just got a little too close and got nailed for the foul. But it's actually a pretty good foul right at this particular point because it's also going to bring in Gavin into the game once they get that first free throw accomplished.
So, what a game. Last night was a thriller. This one did not disappoint.
No. I think a lot of us were probably giving up on them. Probably last night, everybody was probably giving up on Metro State, and they battled back and almost won the game. Here, UCCS now has a 6-point lead, and they were down by 17 with 12 minutes left in the game.
So here we're going to look at this matchup. Charles Gavin, the big guy, 6'8", 250, checks back in. Ian McDonald's going to have his hands full. Wilson missed the first one. Second one, good. 7-point lead. 132.
Look for Chadron State to fuel that ball right into Gavin.
If you're UCCS, you got to attack the rack. Get the rebounds. Long shot by Hidaki. Got it! From outside, he hits a three. And a timeout.
I think we just figured out what Hidaki's talent is.
Yep, he hits a big three, had a couple fouls, but he answers, gets a big shot. 4-point game. 1:21 remaining. Quick timeout. We'll take a quick one as well. He's Jerry Evans. I'm George Holden, your voice for Mountain Lion basketball here in Colorado Springs. We got a good one here. Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference basketball. Chadron State and UCCS. Don't go anywhere.
Okay, we are back here at UCCS with that 4-point lead now. 1:21 left in the ball game at this particular point. Both teams in the bonus. In fact, it looks like Chadron State in double bonus as far as the team fouls are concerned. So, will it come down to that situation? I almost honestly believe that it probably will, that you're going to see a lot of free throws here in this last minute and 21.
Well, Jerry, you've seen, I know we both have, but you've seen a lot of games over the years, player, as a coach, broadcaster, official. You've seen it from every angle. It's impressive when you see a team come back from that many points down and sometimes without key guys.
That's what's really even more amazing. You got your point guard that just got injured in the game tonight.
So Petit Wang, he'll bring it down. They lead by 4. But it's not over till it's over.
Thank you, Yogi Berra.
Isaiah Wilson filling in admirably tonight for Elijah Ross, but he's got to finish the job. Eyes on the clock. Petit Wang driving. Oh, Petit Wang! He is so quick off the dribble and extends the lead. We're under a minute to play. Can't ask for any more than this. Two competitive teams. They're going to get Wilson for the foul, I believe.
And that's a good call. Wilson was kind of hanging on to the arm there of Colby Jackson. So,
and Chadron State, their guys huddle up on the sideline with their coach, Houston Reed. And Jeff Culver for UCCS sends Isaiah Wilson back in. And he's making sure that Isaiah Wilson knows what they need to run as soon as they get the ball back. At the line, Colby Jackson, double zeros. Shots up, good.
Now both teams will be in the double bonus next foul if UCCS gets another foul called on them. It's 49 seconds left in this game, only 5-point lead.
He's looking to cut it to 4 here. Jackson with another free throw. He does. Mountain Lions, they struggled the first 3 quarters of this game and then fight back to take the lead. Deron Clark with the ball. We talked about it. You keep your head, you win this game. Blandon Dilly, a foul. That's going to go on Ruffin, number 4. So Ian McDonald checked back in, number 21 for UCCS.
Head coach Houston Reed was over there yelling out, foul, foul, go ahead and do it. He wants to get the possession and the ball back. I think what he's going to try and do more than likely if he can get that open three-pointer, he's going to try and go for that. Or he's going to try and get that interior play and see if he can get somebody down low.
Yep. So if Dilly hits the first one, if he hits the second one, 6 points, I believe, will be the biggest lead tonight for UCCS.
Well, they had it earlier, 86-80.
So they'll match it. If he can hit it here, he does. If Dilly, money at the line. He'll check out. He did his part. And McDonald, again, that matchup, Gavin and McDonald.
And McDonald has got to be giving up at least 60, 70 pounds.
Yep. And Jackson working on Wilson. Plays smart basketball. Tries to pull out the jumper. Got it. What a play by Jason Jackson. 28.4 seconds. Panit Wang. And the foul. Jackson on Panit Wang.
Well, that time, excuse me, Jason Jackson did exactly what the coach wanted him to do. Foul him early. You still got about 27 seconds left in the game. You're only down 4. If Wang isn't able to hit the free throws here, then you quickly get it down the court, either set up for the three-pointer, or more than likely they'll probably try to take it to the hole and get the easy bucket.
And he gets it, knocks off the rim and rolls in. Panit good on the first one.
At this point, though, with it being down by 5 and possibly 6 points, more than likely they're going to try and set up the three-pointer down on the other end.
Yep, wouldn't doubt it. That'd be the logical thing for Chadron State. But they squandered a 17-point lead. Panit Wang gets them both. If Dilly and Wang both, last 2 trips to the line, they're 100%. Here comes Jackson. Oh, they want to bust a 3. You called it, Jerry. It's off. And Gavin, the big guy with the rebound, they're still trying to get the... Oh! The stuff! Deron Clark said denied. Stores closed. Panit Wang gets fouled by Gavin. And just like that, Wang was just at the free throw line.
Reed is giving the officials an earful after that three-point attempt by Hildaki. You called it as a block, but it looked like there might have been a whole lot of contact as well, and that's what Reed is explaining to the officials. How in the world, he's saying, how in the world could you not call that? Because it looked like there might have been some contact as well, but missed opportunity there. And then Gavin, looks like that's 5 for him, and he is out of the game.
That we talked about that earlier. That was huge for Chadron State, and that was going to be an issue. He was a thorn for the Mountain Lions tonight. But that's to me, that's the difference. Without that guy out of there.
Yeah, because they were able to just peel away on that lead. And they came up now, and all of a sudden it's a 7-point, possibly an 8-point ball game here.
Wow. And they hit him. You got to hit your free throws, and UCCS has done that. What a comeback. 5 seconds, shot way off. 2.5 seconds left in the game, and Blandon Dilly will check in.
And this is a smart move because even though you got the 8-point lead, you want to have Ovilli in there because he's a good ball handler, and he's able to get open a lot of times. They're going to have Walker bring it in down low.
Yep. So Walker inbounds, 2.5 seconds left to Panit Wang, 1.7. They foul Panit Wang.
I'm not sure I understand why to do that because you're not going to make up the difference in 1.7 seconds.
No. And Panit Wang with a smile on his face, he said, I don't have a problem shooting free throws. But Earlier this season, we were calling them several times for some of their wins. We were calling them the Cardiac Cats, and they've lived up to the billing.
I just saw head coach Jeff Culver talking with Carr. It's interesting because Deron Clark was the one that kind of, once he hit that three-pointer, that's what initiated all that melee out there.
That's where it changed.
And I think that's one of the things that Jeff Culver was telling him. He's saying, you know what? We don't need that anymore. You know, if you hit the big range shot, don't worry about it. Just go on and just play like everything's peachy keen. So I think that's what he was probably talking to him about there with that 1.7 seconds left. But there's your final, 97-87.
Wow. Jerry Evans, I'm George Holden, your voice for Mountain Lion basketball. If you like competitive, close basketball games, this weekend at the Lions Den was the place to be. Both teams, the women's teams and the men's teams at UCCS, they go 4-0 over this weekend. They sweep. And UCCS, I'll tell you what, dramatic fashion, the men's team 17 points down tonight, Jerry. We talked about it. They scratch, claw, and fight their way back. They get a 10-point win. There's still some jawing on the floor with Ruffin and Walker, and Ruffin needs to be careful, and they're trying to get him to go back to the locker room.
Yeah, they got a couple of his fellow teammates that are hauling him off the court. The police came over as well.
Yep.
You hate to see that. I understand, the emotions of the players, having been there in competitive situations as well. But, you still have to control your behavior. And this was not a good night as far as the actions of some of the players, that's for sure.
I would agree, but I'll tell you what, we had a long delay, but what was pivotal, we talked about the 17-point swing. UCCS, they did it in dramatic fashion. Last night by 1, they pull away, win by 10 points with free throws tonight at the end. They got fouled, they were able to answer the bell at the line, but you said it, the pivotal point, the crucial point of this game was Deron Clark, the freshman out of San Antonio for UCCS. He hits a big three, he's excited, it almost sparks a melee, as we talked about. People got involved.
Well, it actually did.
Yeah, they were really starting to push. They didn't. There wasn't any hands thrown or punches or that, but it was close. But coaches got in the way. Officials, seniors, key players got in the way to make sure it didn't get worse. Had some players and some coaches leave the floor tonight. But for UCCS, they needed this win. They fought back, and they got it, 97-87. Congratulations to them.
Well, all you got to do is look at the standings. I mean, that's why this was a big crucial win, because they're battling, just like the women's team is, to try and get one of those top 4 spots so they can host in the RMAC tournament.
Yeah, well said. UCCS, they go to 11-6 in conference play, 14-9 overall. There's about 4 or 5 teams right toward the top there. And as we said before, top 4 teams in the RMAC women's and men's, they host playoff postseason games. So UCCS was fighting hard for that. They get it done. They get to sweep this weekend. Congratulations to them. And we talked about it. We harped on it, but we'll say it again. Some key players not on the floor for UCCS tonight, but they find a way to get it done.
Well, Ross got injured early in the game, and I think a lot of people were saying, oh no, there goes our shot here. But Wilson came in, did a really yeoman's job of running that point guard position, getting some good interior passes, and also the three-point shooting was a very key ingredient as far as UCCS was concerned for tonight, and you got to applaud their effort. I mean, coming down from 17 points back with 12 minutes left in the game to win by 10 points was truly amazing. You look at the totals now as far as UCCS is concerned. Dalton Walker, he had 15 points at half, didn't score again until I believe it was about 9 minutes into the second half. 24 points overall. Paddy Wang had 19, 21 for Isaiah Wilson. Now, when you said you named him Show Me, well, he certainly was able to show you tonight what he was made of, because he came off and filled in the spot for Elijah Ross very admirably. On the other side of the coin, you got 17 points, Jacob Jefferson off the bench for Chadron State. You also had 15 points for Deontay Champion. He went kind of ice cold in that second half.
He did.
Because he had 12 points at halftime. So 11 points by Jeremy Ruffin and Charles Gavin, 10 points. They held him in check in the second half.
Right.
Because he had 8 of the 10 points in the first half. So really an outstanding job. and battling back. Wow, incredible.
Well, that shows a lot. We talked about grit, moxie, whatever adjective you want to employ here. Jeff Culver, his guys came to play. They knew they were going to be shorthanded, not have some key guys in there. It doesn't matter. It's next guy up. And boy, did they perform when their number got called. Congratulations to the men's team and the women's team earlier. The 4-game sweep at the Lions Den this weekend. And this UCCS men's team, they earned it. Both wins, they were close, and they found a way to get it done. And that's the sign of the difference between what we talk about good and great teams. How good or how great can this team be?
Well, it's tough to say, but you saw players come off the bench and fill in those roles and say, you know what? We can do it too, and that's what you got to have. They always talk about next man up, and that was a clear-cut case of that tonight, and just an outstanding overall play, and I think a good, fine team effort on the part of UCCS.
I would agree. Well said, Jerry Evans, as always. Well, congratulations again to both teams here at UCCS. We will have the regular season home games will be, the finales will be next weekend. Next Friday night, the 15th of February, Colorado State Pueblo, CSU Pueblo, that's a rivalry. They'll be here 5:30, women's 7:30 again, just like tonight, as always. Saturday night, the 16th of February, New Mexico Highlands in the house, 5:30 and 7:30 respectively again. Those will be the last home regular season games here for the Mountain Lions. If they continue to do what they're doing, and my hat goes off to Jeff Culver and his staff, they found ways to rotate guys. They were looking for answers. As we saw during the first half, which group of guys is going to find a way to get the job done. They fought to the bitter end, and once they got that lead, I think after that they had wind in their sails at that point.
Yeah, and of course the whole melee, even though it was part of the game, it probably provided an emotional spark for UCCS.
Wholeheartedly agree with you.
And because it was 79-79 at the time, and you look back on that and you say, okay, who kept their cool? Well, even though both teams were out there and a couple of coaches on both teams, were gone, and one player for Chadron State was gone, overall, I think the emotional spark had to go to UCCS because they fed off of that. And they said, you know what? Not in our house. We're going to win here.
Yep, not in the Lions Den, and they come through. That old saying holds true. When emotions are high, logic is low sometimes. And it I tell you what, they did a great job here. The faculty, staff, everybody here made sure that things stayed kosher, and then things didn't get out of hand. And that's what happens when you want to go out and play hard and compete. And two teams have opposing wills. Sometimes that's what's going to happen, but you learn from that. Congratulations to both the men's and women's teams here at UCCS. They come out with big wins last night and tonight. That's going to do it for us here at the Lions Den, Gallagher Event Center here in Colorado Springs at UCCS. As always, thank you, Jerry Evans. We'll see you again next weekend. Love having you. I'm George Holden, your voice for Mountain Lion basketball. You've been watching and listening to the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference NCAA Division II hoops right here in Southern Colorado in Colorado Springs. Folks, have a fun and safe weekend. Mark your calendars. We'll see you next Friday and Saturday, 5:30 and 7:30 again for more college basketball here from the Lions Den in Colorado Springs. So long, and have a great night.